What is up, guys? Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be doing a cooking with KAILS video. I just got back home from work and it is almost 5 o'clock, so it is time to go ahead and start prepping for our dinner. And today we are going to be making steak and mac and cheese. This has been like one of my favorite meals to make when I do decide to cook. Hate to say that, but here we have a nice New York strip steak. I've been really liking strip steaks for this. Ribeye I think is a little bit too fatty to go ahead and use for this, but as you guys can see, it does have some good fat on there. So anyways, we got that. And for the mac and cheese choice, we are going with Simple Truth mac and cheese. This has been like my go-to one to get. Unfortunately, we aren't making homemade mac and cheese. I'm not bougie enough for that yet, even though it is also very simple to make. I just kind of go the easier way and kind of advance the recipe a bit, because you can't just add the powder, there's more to add. If you want to go ahead and follow along on how to make it, it's honestly super easy. Cooking steak is one of my favorite things. And again, we're going with the New York strip steak, and this has been sitting out for about like 10 minutes out of the fridge. I want to make sure that this is room temperature because that way it can cook easier. And anyways, it's time to go ahead and start prepping everything. So we're gonna go ahead and season our steak. Alrighty, my little master chefs, the first step that I go ahead and do, and this is from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Gordon Ramsay, is I just take a paper towel, wipe down the steak, and then it's time to go ahead and add the best seasonings you can to a steak. In my case, I love to go ahead season it with salt and pepper, and for the best seasonings, the long lost cousins, we have the garlic powder and onion powder. These are the seasonings that are really gonna make that steak taste super good, and we're gonna go ahead and add those seasonings. Don't be shy with these. More seasonings makes your steak really come out with that flavor. So make sure to go ahead and add a good amount to that steak. Make sure you're getting all the sides and the edges. And then we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step. Alrighty, y'all, the next step is to go ahead and grab your pan. We're using the blue diamond pan. We're gonna be testing out how this cooks the steak. Most people like to use a cast iron, which I do have, but this is a little test run here that we're doing. Anyways, get your stove up to high heat, and then with the oil of choice, I'm going with olive oil. Go ahead, splash some in the pan, and make sure that gets super hot before we lay the steak down. Once that pan is super hot with that oil in it, you want to go ahead and lay the steak away from you down in that pan and let it go ahead and sit there for 3 minutes while it begins to go ahead and get that super nice crust that we all like on our steaks. And after 3 minutes is up, we're going to go ahead and give that bad boy a flip. Once it's flipped, I like to go ahead and grab my butter and go ahead and melt it. Make sure you don't let this stay on the pan for too long because we don't want this butter to burn. And then we're gonna go ahead and baste our steak. If you want to pizzazz it just a little bit more, I like to go ahead and add thyme and rosemary to the butter and use that as a mix to help baste. After another 3 to 4 minutes on high heat, it's then time to go ahead and take that steak off so it can go ahead and rest. Alrighty, guys, here is the steak, and as I mentioned, I am using a new pan for this. While I do have a cast iron, I wanted to test how well the Blue Devil pan would hold up and cook a steak, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, look at the crust on top of that. I'm not too much of a big charred person with my steak. I know a lot of people love a nice thick crust, but for my steaks, this is honestly enough, a little burnt on the outside. But we're gonna go ahead and let this rest now, and we're gonna go ahead and make the mac and cheese. While we are waiting for this water to go ahead and boil, I just want to mention one more thing, that a New York strip steak, especially the ones that I get, they're like $12 to $15 depending on where you get them. The thickness of them aren't that thick, so this whole meal takes like 20 minutes to cook, especially if you baste the steak a bit. It helps cook it. You don't want to overcook it because when you let it rest, it still keeps on cooking. So that's what we're doing right now. Water's about to boil, and then we can add in our nudes and it'll all be ready. I would hope most of you know how to make a simple boxed mac and cheese, so we'll cut until the good stuff happens, where we kind of, finesse this recipe. All right, I just drained the nudes. We got just fresh nudes here. Now this is where we pizzazz everything. And they obviously state to do this, but I just feel more fancy like doing it than like reading it off a box. So we got fresh sharp cheddar here and some butter. Got our mac and cheese pack. Now this is the key ingredient. A little splash of milk into the mac and cheese. Just want to go ahead and eyeball it. You don't need a lot because you don't want to make it like super like liquidy. And then we got some butter that we're gonna go ahead and add. You don't need that much. I'm just using like a tablespoon. The final ingredient, you want to go ahead and add some cheese. Brand new cheese, can't beat it. All right, well that kind of cools down a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the steak. We gotta prepare the whole meal here. Guys, look at that. That is medium rare. All right, master chefs, let's go ahead and plate up our food. And then I do have some chives. This is optional, but you know, it just makes you look fancier. It makes you look like you went to Nobu instead of Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And there you go, guys. This is the signature KAILS steak and mac and cheese dish. Homemade, not really, but you get what I'm saying. This is it. Look at how beautiful and delectable this looks. I cannot wait to go ahead and feast. Alrighty guys, we are back. We got the meal right here. I am so excited to get into this, but before we do, no perfect meal is made without a beverage. So for the bev of choice, we got this right here, Canada Dry Cranberry Ginger Ale. We're going kid-friendly today, if you know what I'm saying. So this is probably one of my favorite pops right now. This is definitely top 5. It tastes so amazing. But we're gonna go ahead, enjoy this food because I'm hungry and I cannot wait to dive in my latest creation. Let's get a bite of this mac and cheese. Let's see how we did. Splendid. Check out this steak. Perfect medium rare. There's a nude on there, hold on. Medium rare. Perfect. This is honestly amazing. Killed it with that. Absolute cinema. What can I say? Delectable. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Don't forget to go ahead and follow me on all my social medias. If you guys want another cooking video, let me know and I can try and go ahead and whip up one of my other favorite things to cook. Steak is honestly one of my favorite things to cook. And shout out to the Blue Devil pan, you know, coming through with it. Not sponsored, but I use that pan for like eggs, ground beef, all that stuff. Only thing I don't use it for is cooking steak, but I wanted to go ahead and try it out to see how it would perform, and I give it like an 8 out of 10. Not bad. I hope you guys did enjoy watching. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of my food here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.